This episode brought to you by coffee.
Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2019 Buick Enclave. This is a very well done two-row crossover SUV, really pretty. I like the packaging on this. I like the size. It's a good size for a small family. Excuse me. It's well done. So let's get looking. I have done a couple of Buicks, I think, in recent times, but not really recent. So let's jump at it. Down here, windows, mirrors, etc. So you decide which one there. You do that back and forth there. This right here, it locks the windows. It also engages child lock on the rear doors. Similar to, say, like Volvo, other companies do the same thing. I kind of like that because it gives you full parental control. It also is easy to forget it. So it's easy to forget that you said it. And then the kids are trying to get out of the car and you're like, why are you guys taking so long? Anyway. Up here, you can see the first of the chrome on the door handle here, and you can see the first of the wood really quietly under here. And the beautiful stitching. We'll get into that some more. Here's door locks, seat memory settings right here. And then that's for, I don't know, actually. I'll have to look it up. I haven't seen that before. I just now noticing it, and it's not doing anything on any of the screens. That is weird. So I'll have to look that up. Oh, it's the rear seat reminder. Yeah, so you can shut off the rear seat reminder with that. That's what it is. I space these things, but now I remember. And that's a rear seat reminder standard in most GM vehicles now. Down here you have your headlamps and so on. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I have to show you anything. One thing I don't like is this little mark that shows you where you are is really, really tiny. It takes a second to see it. That's a bit of an annoyance, but there are full indications if you have the head-up display on this. There are indications on that head-up display as to what light setting is going on, and then of course your fog lamps. Over here's the dimmer. Down here is your aforementioned head-up display. This is how you control it. Move it up and down with that and so on. I will say that this is pretty hit and miss as to whether or not this seat memory remembers the head-up display setting. It's not always doing it for me. Down here you can see this, right? Little pocket. I don't know what you do with that. You can't fit a phone or anything in there, but you can throw keys or spare change or something like that, I guess. So there's that. Maybe a garage door opener, that would for sure fit. Down there is the hood release right there. And over here, that's your rear hatch, and then you can see the settings. This is common to every GM I've ever been in. So the 3/4 mark means it doesn't open all the way. It opens 3/4 of the way, or you can just turn it off so it won't open on its own at all. You have to manually do it. If you're in a really tight spot, I'd suggest using that one right there. That's about all you got. I'll probably just cut that part out because I kind of just rambled. I just went blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, let's look at the steering. Wow, I am dying in this car. I have to turn off the climate, right? So I have to turn off the climate for these videos so it doesn't blow air into the microphone on here. And I pay for that today because it's like, well, that says 80 degrees. I don't think that's quite right. I don't think it's quite that warm. I think it's high 60s, close to 70. But in the car, it's baking. Luckily, there are seat coolers at least. So, back to it. Over here, here's your cruise control stuff and your telephone. So you see your telephone here, voice control up there. If you have a Android Auto or Apple CarPlay phone connected, you can hold that and use that instead of the voice control that's built into the system. Here are your cruise control stuff and then seat heater down on the bottom. It's easy to hit that by accident, by the way, so pay attention, because when you turn it on, this light comes on. So if you wonder why it's getting warm on your hands, that's why. I hit that a lot for whatever reason, just because of where it is. And then over here is your set and reset for the cruise. Trying to think if there's something else I need to point out. Oh, distance right here. So here's your following distance for the adaptive cruise. The adaptive cruise in this is good. So yeah, they did a good job of that. Over here are your driver information and infotainment. So here, this controls tracks or stations. This controls the driver information screen right there. And this is your volume right here. So really, these get really easy to use. They get really intuitive after, and I like the way they feel. They're nice and soft, quick and easy. Over here's your windshield wiper washers, etc. So if you want the rear, you push it that way. If you want the front, you pull it this way. Turn this for the rear, for the squirters, I mean, and then turn this to turn on the rear, and use this to run the front wipers up and down. This is the speed, so you can see the auto and so on settings. Over here, signal turns as well as brights. They work in the way you would expect them to work, so pretty straightforward. Now we jump to the instrument cluster. Over here is a tachometer. Where's my finger? Over here's a tachometer. Not 100% sure why you need that in this car, but it's there. Over here is the engine heat, and it actually shows like in numbers. That's weird. You rarely see that anymore. Usually it's just hot, cold, and in between. But there you go. Over here, there's a lot of gauges in this car. It's actually pretty cool. I like having lots of gauges because I'm weird like that. Over here is that's your engine heat. That's your oil heat. No wonder there's temperature on it. Yeah. See, the gauge is over to the top of the oil thing, right? The little needle. So I can't actually see what that was. So over here is your engine heat. Down here is your fuel. Here's your battery. When is the last time I saw a brand new car that had a battery gauge in it? Almost never. I never see those. That's cool, honestly. Here is your speedometer. Notice there are no Canuck miles per hour. They must just swap it out for those guys. Down here is your driver information screen, and then this is equipped with a head-up display. The head-up display is controlled with those, which I think I pointed out before. I like the head-up displays in the GM products. They're very well done. And they work, which is nuts. All right, so let's look through what you have on these menus really quick. Here is, if you don't have the head-up display, you can use the digital speedometer there. You can also see, here's the trips. This is not my trip. I don't know who set this one. I may not have set one in the car, honest, because I don't remember doing it. I did do mileage stuff, so your fuel economy, my real world will be down here. So I did the usual loop tests where I do about 20 odd miles on the freeway and then top it off again and see what I got. And I do around 20 miles around town, a little more than 20 miles usually, and then top it off and see what I got. And this did pretty well. It's a nice little engine, so it should do well. It's well done. So here's trip B, and here's some other stuff. So I'll just flip through a couple of these, show you what's going on. This is just going up and down without going into any side menus. So this is pretty cool stuff. The speed limit thing does not work well at all, so I would advise to ignore it. So I believe it's GPS based. I don't think it reads the signs from a camera. And if it is reading signs from a camera, their engineers really need to work on that. Over here, here's your engine start. Up here's your Duke's lights. Here's the infotainment. Very, very well done. I really like the infotainment in this. It's easy to use, it's intuitive, and it works the same as pretty much every Chevy product. So every GM product pretty much has the same user interface for infotainment. And I think it's raining on my equipment. Son of a... All right, pause video. All right, back at it. Sorry, I had to pause there really quick. That's why the transition had there's just a fast thunderstorm coming through apparently. It's sprinkling right now, so I wanted to hurry up and save all my camera equipment that's sitting out in front of the car. So I threw it in the back. All right, back to what we were doing. Like I said, the infotainment is awesome. Now, to prove that this is a premium level vehicle, there's an analog clock. Haha. Down here is a lot of parking and other stuff. So this is your parking controls for your park radar. If you go through a car wash, just hit that to turn it off. Here is your auto stop start. Here's your lane keeping. And this is the self-parking. The self-parking in this is good. It does a good job of it. So there you go. If you need a parallel park and you don't remember from driving school how that happens, there you go. It'll do it for you. You look like a pro. Down here is the radio controls. Pretty straightforward. I don't think any of this is complicated. You should know what it means. Down here, here's some vents, and here's some more of that wood. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Wood. Down here, this is climate stuff. So you can see I have the bun coolers on. There's the bun warmers, and ditto over there. To turn them on and off, you just touch them. So if I touch that, they come on, and then I can turn them down or turn them all the way off. And then these right here, that controls the temperature setting. So when the climate's on, you can set the temperature. And then you can sync it here if you want both sides the same. Auto is right there, so just quickly activate it. If I were to do that right now, I would just turn that on like that and go boom. And then the off button is over here. Shuts it off. Over here, pretty straightforward on the controls, what those are doing and what they're for. So I'll just skip over them. Down here, traction control right there. Other stuff if you were to upgrade your options. Right here is the shifter. Couple of things I want to point out. First, the trigger's up front. You have to pull it back. For whatever reason, I intuitively end up in neutral instead of drive on the first shot almost every time. You can see I've started to get used to it, and I'm not doing that as much, but really that's got to be just me, because I don't know that anybody else would have that complaint. It's the usual cycle. There's nothing different about it. It's just the feel of where the knob is, I think, for me. Anyway, and then you have low gearing for dropping down a hill and stuff. Now, if you want to manually control the gears, that's what this is right here. So you have, let's see if I can get it, plus and a minus to go up and down through the gears. Not sure what you would use that for, honest. But it is there, so if you need it, it's there. There's the shifter. Drink holders, nice American-sized, good drink holders. And then right here, now, if I go to the main menu, the home, that's what I should say. Well, if I go to the menu up there, it'll tell you all the stuff not to put in here, which is hilarious. This is a wireless charger for a phone. So there are lots of warnings in this car that tell you not to drop like keys or other stuff in here, because metal things will get hot in there because it is inductive. So anyway, that is a great spot for a phone, and my phone will fit in there with its case, and my girlfriend's phone with her case will fit in there. Those are big phones, so that's pretty good sized right there. And then the whole thing will pull out to wash it, which is pretty cool. Then you have the shuttle bay door opening, and there you are, some USBs, and that's about it. So, oh, there's a 12 volt down here, I should point that out. But nice size right here, and then these are independent, so if you need an armrest on one side or the other, you can do that, right? That's pretty cool. And then the upholstery, pretty upholstery in this. Really like it. And I like the interior. I don't normally like black, but this is black in several types. If it's getting loud, it's because the rain just started. So we're getting hard rain now, and big drops. But I love this. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? So beautiful. And then this is felt-ish. It's actually rubberized, but it looks and feels like felt when you're touching it. Great spot to throw a phone or something. Not a lot of things slide around in that. And then just look at this. Just look at how it feels, how it kind of flows. It's just really well done. I love the color going. Now, I have a camera in the back to save it, but back here you see the back seats are really good. I like the back seats. And good size cargo. Here's the cargo. Cargo. And just nicely done. This also has a panoramic sunroof and a few other odds and ends, but it is a well done packaging. Nice vehicle. So there you go. That is the 2019 Buick Enclave. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon. Watch for the how to set up your Bluetooth, and also my full review of this coming very shortly. Awesome. And subscribe! Hit the subscribe button! Yeah!